I don't think these leftists understand the concept of backfiring or shared power, or you don't have the right unless everyone has the right. You know what I mean? Like, they seem to think that they can enact certain things and there will never be a comeuppance or a backfire. Case in point, this story. Pelosi, quote, has the right to submit Trump to an involuntary evaluation, Yale psychiatrist Brandy Lee. Here's the quote. I am beginning to believe that a mental health hold will become inevitable. I have a question for you. If the Speaker of the House can hold the president for a mental health evaluation, what's to stop anyone else from doing the same to Nancy Pelosi? In fact, we've seen videos of her slurring her words and drinking alcohol and her teeth falling out. I'm not trying to be mean, but if you're going to point the finger at Trump for all his bombastic behavior, then why can't the president do the same in the inverse or in the reverse? I mean, the branches are supposed to be equal, right? There's a checks and balances. To a certain degree, I understand they're not. Let's read the story. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she has the exclusive constitutional right to do this. I'm not a constitutional scholar. Maybe only the Speaker of the House can say the president is mentally unfit. But I kind of feel like with checks and balances, there can be, a back and forth, and maybe they could impeach her. Solon, of all websites, of course, writes, a Yale psychiatrist who has repeatedly sounded the alarm about President Donald Trump's mental health has cautioned that Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi is not doing enough to respond to the danger it poses. Brandy X. Lee, a professor of psychiatry at the Yale University School of Medicine, who serves as president of the World Mental Health Coalition, began warning about the dangers posed by the president's mental health before his election. Lee then edited the book, The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump. 27 psychiatrists and mental health experts assess a president. Whoa. I seem to recall a couple physicians saying Hillary Clinton was sick, and the media said that was a conspiracy. So you know what? I'm going to close this out. Thanks for hanging out. It's a conspiracy. I'm not going to read it. Have a good day. Next video. I'm kidding. Let's read. The point is, it's hypocrisy, isn't it? It's a double standard. They say, and convened a conference on the president's mental health at Yale shortly after the president's inauguration. Before he said anything? Come on. She was recently joined by psychiatrists across the country in calling for the Judiciary Committee to convene a panel of mental health experts. Could you imagine if we had more hearings where a bunch of people came in and said, the president is sick based on my external assessment from watching the television? Lee also translates some of Trump's tweets on her own Twitter feed. Translates, which I'm pretty sure Trump speaks English, which she described to Salon as a public service. Lee said she wants her translations to help readers see past Trump's efforts to muddle reality with his negative influence. She recently translated, they put in quotes, Trump's scorching 6-page letter to Pelosi, accusing her of trying to steal the election ahead of the House vote to impeach him in a Medium post. You know what, man? So articles like this, I'm going to give a shout out to Jacobin, that socialist magazine, because they praised The Hill, they praised Crystal Ball and Cigar and Jody, who are they're really great personalities, but it's a progressive and a conservative. And I'm like, Jacobin's been more fair in the past articles than Solana has. I'll tell you what, man. When you play insane games like this is what causes the left to lose. And I almost got to wonder if they want it to happen. Maybe there's a secret conspiracy of these establishment leftists who are like, we actually don't like Trump, but they really do like Trump and the economy's doing well and they're pretending not to. No, I think in reality they hate him so much and they're just really bad at what they do. They write articles like this where they write this insane conspiratorial nonsense accusing Trump of being unfit or whatever. It's like, we played that game with Hillary, dude. You can't, let's chill out right now. I mean, Hillary actually was sick. Her campaign said she had pneumonia. But if you want to get rid of the president, you don't do it this way. And so you look at what, Jacobin is saying. You get the actual socialists saying the media is lying to you. Arguing that the letter effectively serves as a confession. Lee said that Trump's letter was an example of the president projecting his own motives onto Pelosi, but Lee warned that Pelosi has not done enough to respond to the president. As a coworker, she has the right to have him submit to an involuntary evaluation, but she has not. Does that mean Trump can do the same to her? Anyone can call 911 to report someone who seems dangerous, and family members are the most typical ones to do so. But so can, this is the stupidest thing I have ever heard. These people have lost their minds. Co-workers, and even a passerby on the street. The law dictates who can determine right to treatment or civil commitment, and in all 50 U.S. states, this includes a psychiatrist. Quote, the advantage of a co-worker starting this process is that a court can mandate a mental capacity evaluation before the dangerous person returns to work. The committing physician is preferably the patient's treater, but does not have to be. Do you seriously think the cops are going to roll up to the White House, tell the Secret Service to stand aside and say, Trump, Nancy Pelosi has dialed 911 and said you're unwell, so we're involuntarily committing you? In what deranged reality do you think anything like that could ever happen? And if you're saying coworker, you're quite literally saying Devin Nunes can call 911 and say Nancy Pelosi be acting crazy and needs to be locked up. No, that can't happen. You're insane. Salon is nuts. What happened to this website? I kid you not. Glenn Greenwald used to work here. Not the biggest fan of the guy, but I lean towards I have a more favorable opinion of him, especially now as he's called it the BS. He used to work for this site. The website didn't used to be this absolutely psychotic, did they? Maybe they did. Maybe they got some really creepy articles they've deleted in the past, but this takes the cake. This is beyond, listen, man, I've used an analogy, right? People say scraping the bottom of the barrel. It's a reference, try to get that food out. You got a barrel and you're scraping the bottom. So I've said they're scraping the bottom of the barrel so hard, wood chips are flying out. Then I've escalated and said they're scraping at the bottom of the barrel so hard they punched a hole in it. Well, you know what this is? They're scraping the bottom of the barrel so hard, they're ripping up asphalt from the street underneath the barrel, and they've hit a sewage line, and it's exploded, and it's spraying sewage all over their face, and then they're writing about it. That's how insane this is. This is the bottom of the barrel of trash. There's literally nothing in this that makes sense in any capacity, and for some reason, they're writing about it. I'm glad I found the article, though, because I get to make fun of it. Isn't that fun? I don't know. Complaining about things. That's what I do for a living. They say, while Lee added that Pelosi's strategy of withholding the articles of impeachment from the Senate has been effective, she also warned that the delay risks making Trump even more dangerous. I am beginning to believe that a mental health hold, which we have tried to avoid, will become inevitable. Okay, that means quite literally at any point, anyone working anywhere can file against anybody. So what, does that mean somebody who works for Devin Nunes, one of Nunes' staffers, can file a mental health hold on Adam Schiff because he's always got that crazy look on his face and he says crazy things? No, of course you can't do that, let alone to the president. In a recent interview with Salon, Lee discussed her translation of Trump's letter. Pelosi, this reeks of an unhinged cat lady scrawling on paper, being like, "Row, lock him up." Sorry. Let's read a little bit of this. Why go through the trouble of translating Trump's lengthy letter? I started translating. They put translating in quote over and over again. Trump's tweets as a public service sometime in the summer because I could see his negative influence as he tries to reform others' thoughts. Even for those who do not believe him, he pushes the needle. The impressive inefficacy of former special counsel Robert Mueller's report and then the impeachment proceedings in changing people's minds should convince people of how powerful these mechanisms are. I intend my translation to neutralize some of his effects, as well as to immunize, put in quotes, readers by arming them with the right interpretation. For example, they can now see that his severe symptoms make it right to decipher up as completely down and black as completely white. Or you're insane, no, you can't, Nancy Pelosi can't be like, I'm a coworker, Trump's crazy, come and arrest him. It's never gonna happen. Without this, it is easy for people to get confused about what is reality, and all will become of equal validity without being testable. I love the irony. It's like a perfect paradox. This article claiming they're telling you what the truth is while simultaneously saying completely insane psychobabble. It is a fire truck on fire. Quite honestly, the perfect depiction of the word irony. I love it. Psychoanalysts will recognize the method. It is a very standard way of coming to understand someone. First, you arrive at a formulation of the person from detectable external patterns. And many clinicians say that they know more about Donald Trump than any patient they've ever had in their careers, as he's extremely transparent from his unfiltered tweets and from that overabundant high-quality information that is available, including sworn testimonies. Basically, I don't want to read this. What she's saying is the people who don't like Trump, have a negative view of Trump, write about how they don't like Trump and have a negative view of Trump, and then they use that to compile some kind of psychoanalysis dossier to accuse the president of being mentally unfit, in which Nancy Pelosi can then call 911 and claim her co-worker, Donald Trump, is mentally unwell, and then she believes the police will actually come and arrest the president. Welcome to the psychoticsalon.com. What was Trump trying to tell Pelosi with the letter? He was not telling her anything so much as telling himself and his base. He sends his, let me stop you there. I'm not going to read this. I know why Donald Trump wrote the letter. He wrote the letter for public record. That's about it. I'm pretty much over this. This article has devolved into the most insane psychotic nonsense Pelosi called the letter really sick. No, it was Trump's public record refuting of impeachment. That's what it was. The letter contained several key points Trump wanted to make and wanted to exist in historical record. If Trump didn't respond, impeachment would have happened, and then in 100 years, they would say, here's what it said about impeachment. By writing the letter, they'll say, here's what it said about impeachment, here was the president's response. That's why Trump wrote the letter. These people are insane. Do I think Trump is like this amazing genius? No. Do I think he has good people around him? Yes. Do I think Trump has a general strategy for what he does? Yes. When I say I don't think he's a genius, I'm not saying I think he's a moron. I think he clearly has an idea of what he's doing, and he has good advisors who understand how the system works, and they're giving him somewhat, to a certain degree, good advice. But I'll tell you this, if the left is going to run rampant with this psychotic nonsense, somebody's giving you bad advice. Well, I hope you enjoyed crazyconspiracysalon.com. Stick around for tomorrow. Next segment will be coming up at 10 a.m. YouTube.com/Timcast. I'm going to be moving over my segments. I think in the next coming month or so, this channel might become a new live show. I'm going to try to do more interviews with people, bring on guests, and do more conversations and stuff, like an actual podcast, like conversational podcast. And then my main channel will probably... I'll put it this way. There's certain redundancies in algorithmic changes that make it pointless for me to now have two channels. So while it worked before, I think it might make sense to move most of my segments over to my main channel. We'll see what happens. But tomorrow, 10 a.m., youtube.com/Timcast. It is a different channel. I will see you all then.